with our ongoing series about the 48-hour film project. And we're here today with
James Gappy Burney.
James, how did you get into filmmaking?
I'm actually on the opposite side of the camera. I'm an actor.
Okay.
I don't do actually too much filmmaking of my own, but I was actually asked from a friend of mine at work because he knew I always wanted to be an actor. His brother-in-law was making a horror movie locally. And he said, "Hey, would you be interested in being an extra?" I said, "You kidding? Absolutely, sign me up." I got to be an extra on that film.
What film was that?
Scarred.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the bar scene.
With Eddie?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So he was actually working at Republic Steel and he got laid off, this guy.
Uh-huh.
And I got him a job where I work. So I said, I want a part in the next movie.
Yeah.
Which I ended up becoming a demon for Sluha, which hopefully maybe one day he'll come out, 3 years in the making. But yeah, they wanted me for one scene. I went there, I took off my shirt, everyone saw my tattoos, which I thought was going to be a bad thing because sometimes you can get stereotyped from having tattoos.
Sure.
They're like, and I was actually just changing. They're like, "We don't like that shirt, put on another shirt." I'm walking back down dirt road, I do this, and the camera guy goes, "Oh, look at the tattoos." Good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah.
They love my character so much, I'm in almost every scene throughout the whole movie. I become one of the main demons, I actually play a second demon later on. But you don't realize too, when you're on a 12-hour shoot, that at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, having your shirt off feels good. At 3 o'clock in the morning,
yeah,
you're doing one of these, so I'm like, damn it, why did I have to take my shirt off? Covered in blood, stuff like that.
Especially when you're filming in the fall or the winter.
And we started in the summer and actually went into the fall, and we were by a lake, in the water. Well, it gets chilly at night.
You have to pretend like it's the same temperature as when you started filming.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't be shaking when the camera starts rolling.
So out of the, since you're an actor, like what do you prefer to film? Do you like music videos? Do you like documentaries, shorts, features? What do you prefer?
I've been in all except for a documentary. I prefer the shorts. The features are nice because it's like, hey, I'm in a feature, which I'm in 5 features. I've done 15 shorts, 5 of them being 48s. They're so much more gratifying because you get to see the finished product usually quicker. So much sooner.
Yeah.
And you can usually have access to it. Whereas I'm in 5 feature films, I can only tell people to go watch 2 of them right now somewhere.
Okay.
Again, one may never come out, and then other ones, they have to do their tours. They want to go to festivals.
Yeah.
And they may never be distributed. Wuxia 2 was one of them, which thankfully is now getting a lot of distribution. And Scar was the other one that you can see right now. Well, I'm sorry.
Actually, I own that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Actually, Jimmy Mac too from Raymond Adams.
Okay.
You can see that on Amazon Prime. So, but yeah, I like the shorts better.
So, from an actor's point of view, how many 48s have you been in? Did you say
5?
5. Okay.
Yeah.
What has been your experience on that? Usually I've talked with directors in the past, so you're the first actor that I've spoken with about the 48. So when you've worked with 3 different directors, you said, for 48?
Yes.
So did they all have the same chemistry? Like when they said, okay, this is our format, we're going to write this day, we're going to film this day, we're going to edit this day, or were they all different?
Yeah, very much different.
Yeah.
My first 48, which I enjoyed, and I got asked by a fellow actress, would you come do this? Again, it seems for some reason with the 48s, what temperature and weather, it's either freezing cold or you're sweating to death.
Yeah.
But on the first one, it was for the 50th anniversary of the river catching on fire for the Crooked River Fest is what we did. Organization-wise, some people dropped out, and I actually felt bad for the director because he had a great vision and he really had a good storyline going. When someone drops out on you and you lose that key factor of organization, I think that's where it may have fell a little short, but I didn't know any better at the time. So I didn't even really actually realize it till after the fact. But if you don't have your solid team to keep everything going in motion and you're on a 48, things can turn hairy real quick.
So they dropped out on the day of
the morning of.
Okay.
Yes. Again, I felt bad for the director, and I mean, we all picked up where we had to.
Yeah.
But it didn't run nearly as smooth as it should have.
Okay. That was just an example of one director. What about the other ones? How did they
And the other two I worked with, one was Misha McKell-Top.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a fun blast. I mean, he was easygoing, this, that, and the other. And I don't want to be in that pigeonhole where I say I prefer someone over another one, but I don't care, and I think a lot of people know. Scott Brocious is like one of the best people I've ever worked with, and I'm part of his family as well as you. And I love working with Scott because as much fun as you have, he's very serious about stuff. You get tension, you get organization, and he's got his game plan down. He knows what he wants, you know, and with all the tension, again, it's 48. You're on a time crunch, and it's like, oh man, this is going wrong, or this is not good. And you feel that tension. At the end of the shoot, every time we're laughing, we're hugging, and even with the tension, it was so much fun. He makes it fun even if there's tension, and usually it's technical difficulties. As far as since working with Scott.
And you had that in the summer, and it was super hot that day.
Oh yeah. We on Chains of Burden, which it's my favorite, by the way. I'm gonna put that out there. It was so hot when we were in the train car, and the batteries kept malfunctioning.
Yep.
You were there, you know, and then we had to try and make intestines and things like that. But I think all in all, as much as we were suffering from the heat, everyone was. It's just a good family. White Midnight they're my family, and I loved working with them, and we made it work. And at the end of the day, we were so happy.
As Misha said, it's the best time you'll ever have being completely miserable.
Yeah, it is. It is. I enjoy it though.
Yeah.
I really do. I like that because you don't know who you're going to be the day you walk on the set. You're getting a script. You have to become a character and try and live that character. I like that challenge.
And fit the other challenges of the 48 in it.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then working as a team to make sure that it goes smoothly. You usually have a tagline. And like on Chains, Jennifer was our guru. It's like, make sure they say it right. Make sure they say it right. You know, Jennifer Lynn Anderson. And you have to. Because if you don't get it right, that's kind of a ding against you.
Exactly.
And we work as a team to make sure we're all doing what we're supposed to.
Have you been on a team that won, or have you won awards or been nominated for awards?
Other than being the nomination for Best Ensemble, so that I would be grouped in that. Nothing particular to myself, but I have been on 2 award-winning teams, one being Scott's for Chains and one being Misha's for Surprise. And it's just as rewarding. I don't need to, hey, it was you. I was part of it, and it means so much.
I'm the same way, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a professional actor. I'm what you call a hobby actor.
Yeah.
And I don't do it for fame and recognition. I have a good job, full-time job, and I have a family, so I can't dedicate to that. But the people that I've become friends with, and we call it a family, a community family, that's the biggest reward. And even my wife, who does not want to act, even though I've drug her in a couple times, she is so happy to have met all these people. And we're a family. We stick together, we help each other, and when someone needs something, we're there for each other.
So because of this whole lockdown, you did participate in the stay-at-home?
Yeah. I was challenged again by Dr. Scott. He says, come on, do it. I'm like, Scott, I don't know how to film. I don't know the first thing about it. And he gave me a couple little pointers, and I had some issues that I reached out to him about. At the end of the day, I filmed it the wrong way. I learned that you don't film this way, you film this way.
Oh, vertical.
Yes. Sound thing was, I didn't know what was going on in the background, this, that, or the other. It was grainy. I used the iPhone movie app to put it together, which on your phone doesn't give you a lot of options to edit. I don't have a Mac computer, so you can't use that program to do it on the computer where it gives you all the full features.
Oh.
So I was in a crunch time, but at the end of the day, my wife and I and my stepson had a blast. It was the most fun. People were laughing at us, and it felt good to do it. I'm glad I took Scott's challenge just to see. I appreciate more what they do on the other side of the camera. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be on that side of the camera. I will always help and hopefully learn more. But yeah, and then my wife and I just did a small skit the other day to branch off of Scott's stay-at-home ones. Just a little snippet.
Yeah.
We filmed it the right way.
Yeah.
It looked good. It sounded, and it was funny, and people enjoyed it. So I like doing it for fun. I don't want to compete behind the camera.
No.
I'd rather be on the other side and have someone like Scott telling me what he needs from me.
So you just want to be an actor going forward. You don't want to like maybe be a writer or maybe learn how to edit or.
I'm not saying I won't.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because again, with the full-time career that I have, I mean, we're 7-day a week, sometimes 12-hour day operation. I'm also the vice president of our union, and I have 770 some members who will reach out to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to commit, and if I'm going to do something, I'd like to do it good. But and if someone's going to take their time to teach me,
mm-hmm.
you know, like if I said, well, hey Ron, teach me FX, and I'm half-assing it, that's not fair to you. So I wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I'm looking for now. But I've only got 7 more years before I retire.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! And then I might actually consider starting to delve more into the whole production part of it.
Maybe just buy a camera and play around.
Sure.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be a dream to me. Yes, I would love to do that. But at this point in my career, it's more just being part of the acting part and
mm-hmm.
casual.
That's how I learned. I was on several different sets. I just watched different directors do different things. I'm like, I don't want to do it like that. That didn't seem right.
Right. And I actually have another FX artist friend of ours who's got a movie idea, and it's actually a 3-part series, and he was wanting me to maybe help write it with him.
Nice.
I'd love to do it, but I told him the same thing. I said, if I have the time, I'm more than willing to join in, but I don't want to weigh you down,
mm-hmm.
waiting on me. That's all.
So, from being on different teams, what would you say are like some do's and don'ts that you've witnessed from being in different environments and different teams? Like, what are things that absolutely you feel work really well, that you've seen different directors or production assistants and everything do? And what are some things that you would absolutely tell somebody, don't ever do that because
right.
It does not work?
Well, the do's would definitely be to adhere to your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you're blocking stuff and you know which scene needs to come where. Normally we like to do it start to finish, if that's possible. And it's a good practice because a lot of times, and sometimes you have to jump around
mm-hmm.
because different obstacles or lighting or something gets in the way, or an actor or actress might have to step off, and we go, hey, let's move on to this. Well now, and you have a script editor, advisor, and you're trying to remember, what did we do?
Mm-hmm.
What didn't we do? So I'd say the do's are stick to your schedule. As far as don'ts, again, when you don't have a full team with you and they're not committed and you try and take it all on your own, I would say don't be hasty about it, don't be cocky about it, because you can lose a lot in that. And again, unfortunately for the director on my first film, that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have really been a potentially great film, and I think we lost a lot because it was, don't stop and assess, I'm going to do this.
Sure.
We're just going to keep going. Heck, it was that kind of thing where I think, you really got to make sure everything's lined up.
If you could change one thing about the 48, what would you change about it?
And I actually thought about that because I've seen some of your other ones. It's like, what would I change about it? And I liked that Scott said nothing because again, I love the process.
Mm-hmm.
If I were in the director's position, the captain,
mm-hmm.
should I say, for the choosing of the genres. We always have 2 genres that are on there.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick one or the other, which thankfully working with Scott, because it makes it much more of a challenge. He usually uses both.
Mm-hmm.
I think like there should be like some type of, like maybe the first 3 people that sign up for the competition win the chance to do a throwback one time.
Or maybe steal somebody else's?
Right, some kind of swap. Like they're like, I don't really like this one. I'm gonna get one more pick. It just adds to the competitiveness of it, and then it's kind of like a gamble. It makes it exciting, and then
maybe the winning team.
Yeah.
From the previous one.
There you go. Yeah. There could be different ways on how you decide who gets to do the throwback. But I think that would be good.
Huh. Do you have any advice for a first-time team? Like if they've never done it before, and they're like, this looks cool, I like what you're doing. How can we get involved?
Well, we always have mixers.
Mm-hmm.
We have the socials, and I've always told people, if you want to get involved, come to some of these groups.
Mm-hmm.
You come to these meetings, and that's what I did essentially. That's how I met most of my White Midnight film family, except for Tim Hale,
mm-hmm.
who kind of brought me into the group, but that's what he told me.
Mm-hmm.
Come to the mixers. My wife and I would go there to, have a donut and a beer, and I might not even have spoke with maybe 1 or 2 people, but those 2 people were influential in bringing me into a team.
Mm-hmm.
As far as collaborating a whole team, again, I'm just the actor guy, but that is very important. I mean, you have to know who's on your crew, if they have the capabilities, and if they're going to be able to come through for you. Showing up is part of it, and I've heard a lot of people say this. If they come to a meeting or they come to a chat, most likely they're going to show up. And Scott may have even said that, but that is very true. You know, if it's the person who's like, I can't really make it this day, I'd kind of keep them on the back burner and maybe know that you have a backup plan. Because people that are going to want to be involved, they're going to show up. They will. I know I always have, and I always will.
Sure.
It's important to me. People count on you, otherwise it doesn't work.
Did you have any future projects that you're working on that you want to maybe plug?
Well, actually, we're still in the middle of doing the Vial series with Scott Brocious. I am so excited about this one. Other than Sluaw eventually, maybe one day coming out.
Yeah.
Because I put a lot of physical energy in that movie. This Vial series to me is like my baby. I know it's Scott's, but it's so relevant to what's going on today. And people are probably going to say, "Oh, you're full of it. You used the pandemic to come up." We started filming this series before the pandemic.
January.
You know what I mean? And obviously we put on the back burner right now because of the pandemic, and we're just getting ready now to very carefully, safely ease back into it. I want to see the whole series play out, and we still have 2 movies to do and a flashback, I believe, before it's complete. And knowing Scott's crazy mind, it might be a 7 or 8 part series by the time we're done.
Maybe.
But
Full feature.
That's what I got going on now. There's a couple of investments that I wanted to get involved with and get into some other movies. Unfortunately, right now I've had to back off on those because of the pandemic.
Sure.
And because of the economy going on the way it is. We have a contract that's looming because of this pandemic. We don't know what's going to happen. We've got our members getting laid off and stuff, so you got to kind of put the brakes on for a minute. But if anything comes up where people ask me again, most of my work is from word of mouth. I have not really applied to many jobs. People know me. They'll say, "Hey, Gap, you want to come do this?" Or, "I think you'd be good for that." That's how I got on a Low Life series, is for being a zombie. That's the first time I met you, actually, was on that set and you did my makeup. But yeah, I'm always open to work with everyone, but I'm not really fishing for anything right at the moment other than the Vial series.
Do you have a website or anything like that for people to reach out to you or see maybe the work that you've done? I
have my IMDb page.
Yeah.
They can go on there. Most things you'll be able to see me on are, is fortunately, because Scott makes them accessible, is Through White Midnight. You can go on SE Brocious on YouTube. Again, Jimmy Mack is on streaming on Amazon. That's Raymel Adams. And I try and put stuff out there. I had a demo reel out on Facebook, but then it goes away. And I'm not really technologically savvy, as I've said. So I haven't figured out how to tell people to go to YouTube and search it, because it's more of a code than it is per se a name. And my good buddy Dominic Cancelliere actually made my reel for me. Because again, I'm the old guy in the acting community. I'm one of them. And these younger actors and actresses, that's another thing. They've helped me. They've boosted me to say, "Hey, bring in and I appreciate that, because they show me stuff that I don't even know how to do.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us about the 48.
Oh, I thank you for having me.
All right.
All right, brother.